Hi everybody, I'm Dafne Canales from Spartan Spark, and I'm going to be showing you 5 effective things to do for your homepage. If anybody wants to join me, things that we're going to talk about, the 5 core elements of an effective homepage are you're having the right contact information in the right format, a call to action, having some social credibility, having relevance to your website, and speed. Those are all really important things that you want to have, especially on your home page. So your contact information. Your phone number, you actually get SEO points, if you want to call it, for having a local number on your website. And you want to have it on the top right-hand corner. I'm going to show you an example of that. And make sure that it's a text and not an image. And it not only gives you search engine points, but you also want to, it not only does it give you search engine points, but it also gives you social credibility. So your clients will be happier if they can see that you're easy to access. I'm just going to do another screen share so I can show you some examples of websites that have some really great. So here we have a plumbing company, and on the top you can see their phone number, 403-220-0090. And how you can tell if you got your phone number formatted the right way is that I can select the phone number. I'm just going to copy and then just paste it right into the browser, and you can see that the number shows up there. So that means that the phone number is findable by the search engine. So if you have a phone number on your website, but it's a JPEG, it's some kind of image, the search engines can't find it and they won't index you properly. And you do get extra points for having your contact info prominently on your website. So this company has a really good example of how you should format your phone number. Back to our presentation. So the next thing you want to do is you want to have an address. So make sure you list the city and the postal code on the home page of your website. You want to have a page, if you have various locations, you want to have a page that lists all those locations. And we recommend that you use a P.O. box, especially if you're an entrepreneur or a startup. And you can get these P.O. boxes at UPS stores and different kind of organizations like that let you have a suite number so your address looks professional. Because you don't want your home address to stay online forever. You don't want somebody knocking at your door. And the other thing too is with a lot of cybercrime, if somebody has your name, your email, your address, they can do various things with your information that you don't want to have to deal with later. So back to our little example here. I keep having to see. So on this website, if we scroll down to the bottom, you can see that they have their address here on the bottom, and it can be anywhere, whatever makes sense for your website, but you do want it again in text. If you're able to highlight it, then it's formatted the correct way. So next we have the call to action. A lot of websites that we see are missing a call to action, and all that is having something prominent on your page telling your customers clearly what you want them to do. If you can, make it time sensitive, so sometimes it says join now. You want to give direction, what should I do and when should I do it. Different things in terms of call to action are leave a comment, buy the book, join now, and even what do you think are all different kinds of calls to action. And it actually works on our psychological mind. The human brain is always trying to solve problems. So if you ask it a question or tell it what to do, it's going to follow those suggestions. Back to our examples. There's some really great websites with calls to action. I'm going to show you a bunch so it's really clear on the way that you can format your calls to action. Okay, so back on our plumbing website, we've got book your appointment, click here, and it's bright green, it's very different from the gray background, and then they've got their images. They have another one over here, a blue one. Click here, book your appointment, and they have a little coupon here, drain and sewer special, expires on a certain date. It gives you a clear indication of how you can use it and when. Another company, they give you a free SEO quote right on their page, and you can type in your website here, press start. So again, it's really prominent. It's like the biggest thing you see on their page. On change.org, again, a very simple website, white background, and the red call to action button, start a petition. That's what they want you to do when you get here. And one more example, Basecamp. All they have is an image here, how many people use their product, their services, and a giant button that says give Basecamp a try. It's free for 60 days. And when you click there, you just enter 3 little things here, or 4 little things, and then again, another call to action, start my 2 months free trial. So you want to make it really simple and easy for your clients to understand. Don't make them jump through a whole bunch of hoops to get what they need or what they're looking for, what you want to offer them. I'm not sure if there's a way to flip between screens. We keep having to come back to me. So we got our call to action. Next, we want to talk about the valuable gift. So there's no point in having a call to action if you don't have something to give for it. So you want to trade the call to action, trade email addresses for a valuable gift. What that can be is a download document, a video, 10 tips, a coupon, like in the case of the plumbing company. And then what you want to do is start communicating with your clients to earn their trust. Create a landing page. If you create a landing page, you might want to hire a copywriter who can write down the wording for your call to action in a way that's really compelling to your client. So if you're not a great writer, that's okay. There's people you can hire to do that, and you just communicate what you do and what's valuable about what you do, and they can come up with a product that you can share with others. And then it comes to credibility. You want social proof on your website that you've had previous customers. Maybe you have some accreditation, so you belong to certain associations. You can post, if you've ever been in the news, you can post a link to the article. If you haven't been on the news, we can do a whole other segment on that, but what you can do is write an interesting story to the newspaper, or you can help an organization like a nonprofit with your services and then write a story. The news is always looking for something to cover, and if you give them a story, then they can run with that. The same thing with bloggers. If you find a blogger or a business website that writes things that are related to your industry, your services, then you can tell them about a story that you might have. And they're always looking for content, so they might want to write about you. The other thing you want to have is social media. You see a lot of pages with likes or how many +1s people have, and then community support is another one that you can have on your website. So if you do support nonprofits or donate a portion of your time to help some cause, then you can list on your website, and it gives you credibility. People like to work with other people who are helping out in the community. So I'm going to show you a couple examples of those on the same pages that we were just at. Okay, so on Basecamp, if we go back to the home page, they say last year alone, Basecamp helped over 285,000 companies. So they're giving you credibility of how many people they've helped. And when you click on do a sample, this number changes, and it gives you an idea of how many people Basecamp has helped. Change.org, they show you all the different projects that are going on to give you some confidence that other people are using them as well. On this company, what they've done is they show a rotating little thing here with people they've worked with. They have testimonials. Those are always great. If you don't have testimonials from your customers, make them fill out a little form, ask them to send you a testimonial, and sometimes you can write your own testimonial and just get them to sign off on it if people are nervous, they're not sure what to say. Accreditations and awards, again, you can list all the different associations you belong to, if you've had any awards, and where you've been seen on the news. And this company, again, shows who they support, what nonprofits they support. With the plumbing company, I didn't find any testimonials, and that might be a good thing for them to put on. Oh, they have it right here, but it's not on their homepage. So we do suggest putting it on the homepage because that's the page people are looking at. You want to bring a lot of traffic here and send them to different parts of your page, but have everything that you need in one place, everything you need to attract your ideal client. So we want to talk about SEO and social links. When we talk about SEO, each page is rated independently. So what that means is that your home page has one set of points, your contact us page a different set of points, and you want to treat each page on your website as if it's an entirely separate website. So it is a web page. So when you have links coming in, that benefits you, and when you have links going out of your page, it kind of takes away, unless they're to relevant sources. So just keep that in mind when you're working with your home page. Use links in context and use them in blogs and articles. So what that means is just don't put a bunch of links. So sometimes we'll see pages that have a ton of links at the bottom of the page, and you're going to get penalized for using links in that way. What you want to do is talk about something. So for example, if you're a jewelry company, you want to say all our red rubies, and then red ruby can have a link to more information about red rubies. Or if you're talking about a blog and talking about a different company, you include that link in your blog in some kind of context, much like Wikipedia does. So if you read through Wikipedia, you can click on different words and you go to more information about those subjects. You want to try as much as possible to link to your homepage and not away from it. So you want to have social media linking. The associations, you want to be really strategic about the associations that you belong to. Make sure they have an online members directory, and that's giving you social credibility and online SEO credibility. So for example, the Better Business Bureau, if you have an account with them, make sure that they link back to you and you're showing their logo, because people feel more comfortable dealing with companies that are associated to larger organizations. Do not have outbound links on your home page or key pages. Keep them on a separate page. So what that means is that if you do need to have outbound links, have a link to another page on your website. So for example, have a blog and you've got the summary of the blog, and then you click to the full blog to see what you've written about and that's the page that has the link. So try not to have outbound links on your home page. And I'm not sure if Bernie is on the Hangout, if he has any other SEO tips. We'll ask him at the end if he'd like to share those. Relevance. So it's really important to make sure that your content is relevant to your audience. So your blog gives you a lot of SEO points. You want to have your blog right on your home page and not actually on a separate website. So some people have blogs that are totally separate from their web pages, and that's taking away from your SEO credibility, your SEO points. So put it right on your home page under the main heading, the main points of your home page. And your blog, what I found interesting, or an interesting way to think of your blog, is it's like a newspaper, so that it changes daily or a couple times a day, or once a week, once a month. And the rest of your website is like an encyclopedia. So you write it once and then it stays that way. The key is to be consistent. It's not about having a ton of volume on your website. It's more about being consistent. So you want to create a schedule for yourself for your homepage blog, and you can do 12 blogs a year, and then you can work on 24 blogs and then 52, and then go from there. So don't overwhelm yourself. Be consistent, because the search engines come to your website on a scheduled basis. So if they see that you're writing once a month, they'll come back once a month. So if you write once a month and then all of a sudden write for 3 days in a row, the search engines won't index that, because that wasn't your pattern before. So what you want to do is be consistent with your blog. Your blog also establishes trust. So share valuable information on your blog, not just information about your company's doing this, your company's doing that. You want to educate people. You want to give them information that they can use in their business. You want to be able to send your blog out as a newsletter. That's ideally what you want to do. So if you have various target markets, what you can do is segment your customer list. So for example, again, going back to the jewelry, a person who sells jewelry, he or she, the business might have male customers, female customers. It might be people who only buy on Valentine's. So you would send them blogs related to what their interests are. So if they're business people, they might want maybe more simple jewelry. And if they're vacationers going on a cruise, there's a different type of jewelry that they might have. And the business people don't want the cruise jewelry, and etc. So you can see how that relates. So what you want to do is ideally have your blog linked to some kind of email system where you can segment your list and combine them, and you can send targeted information to your clients, and that way they'll keep receiving your emails and keep seeing value in keeping you in their email box. You also want to add a call to action to your blog. So some really fun call to actions have been, instead of just leave a comment, they'll say things like, what do you guys think? Tell us about your online stories, or tell us about how you experienced what we just talked about, and try to get more engagement from your clients. Other calls to action might just be request a quote. If you just talked about how you did some amazing thing for one of your clients, and at the end of your blog you might just want to say, well, we can give you a free assessment, contact us for that. So make sure that you always have a call to action, whether it's sharing information or contacting you. Next, we have the technical part of your website. So this might be something that you might not necessarily be able to manage yourself, but at least you're aware of it. And if you have a web designer or a web developer, you can ask them to look into it, and you'll know what you're talking about. So page load speed, it's a really important user experience. Google judges you for it, and what you want to do is not have Flash on your website because it takes a lot of load speed time. So here's some stats from Google. 40% of your visitors will abandon a page if it takes more than 3 seconds to load. Google found that an extra 500 milliseconds in loading time resulted in a 20% drop in traffic. And then at peak time, 75% of online customers went to the competitors rather than wait for a website to load. 88% of online consumers are less likely to return after they've had a bad experience. So even if you fix it, those people who experience the slow website might never come back. So what can you do about it? Google actually has a website speed test, and you can go there by Googling website speed test Google, because there's various different kinds, but Google has one of their own, or you can go directly by developers.google.com/speed/page speed, which is a little bit harder. And then click on Analyze Your Site Online, and I've circled it in red. So we can go there and take a look. So I'm just going to Google website speed test. And there it is, the one on the top. So this is what it looks like, and you just click here, Analyze Your Site Online, or you can click on the side here, Analysis. And all you do is you enter a URL. So it does an analysis, and then it brings you back some results, and it's really interesting because it'll tell you how you can fix the problems that you have. It gives you a screenshot of your mobile website and also of your desktop, and as you can see, this website has some flash going on here, and that's why you can't see anything, especially on the mobile website. It gives you a rating, and it's something that you can go back to your web designer and say, we need to fix this because we know how important speed is. Okay. So things that affect speed, again, it's a really important topic that entrepreneurs should be aware of. Things that affect speed are large images. If you're doing your own website, you want to be careful with those. You want to crop them down before you load them onto your website. Bad web hosting, sometimes you'll have a web host that you're sharing your location with other companies that are using a lot of bandwidth. So you want to make sure that you know the terms and services of your web host, not caching dynamic content. What that means is that whenever somebody loads the page, everything loads all over again. So there's a way to set it up so that you only load dynamic stuff, so that's stuff that changes. No compression of web pages, again, something technical where you can compress your web pages and have them delivered kind of like a zip file, so that when they come to the viewer, they're not loading one by one. They come in as like a package. Having too much flash, again, we know that slows our websites down. Also, external embedded media. So be careful when you're embedding outside things. So like YouTube videos, if you're not linking them properly, or different things that you're pulling in from other websites, because those other websites might be slow and then they slow you down. Bulky code, again, this is a programming thing. If the programmer doesn't really know how to write code to make websites fast, and their coding might affect your website. And finally, spam. That's a really big one, especially for a lot of people who use WordPress websites. Because WordPress is such a commonly used program, there's a lot of spam that's out there because of malicious people who try to get into WordPress websites. They write one program and then they can get into hundreds of thousands. So the spam might come in through your contact us forms and be slowing down your website. And what you would do in that case is put those captchas, those things that you have, like a human has to enter, so that you can move on to the next step. So there's something to resolve everything, and you just need to know what's available and where to get help. So that's our presentation for today. So what we talked about was having a good contact info that's readable by the search engines and your clients, having credibility, whether that's through associations that you belong to or social media. A call to action is really important on your home page. That's one of the things that we do not see a lot on our clients' home pages or the people that we help. Having a blog or relevant articles to bring your customers in and show them that you have some expertise and that you have something in common. And again, the speed of your website. I've heard you shouldn't have more than one blog post per keyword. Is it true? I tend to write about the same things from different angles. How should I handle this? And I'm not sure if Bernie is still, let me see, he's the SEO expert, and I'm going to see if he's still around. Bernie, are you there?
Hi.
Hi. So what do you think about, did you hear the question, or do you want me to reread it?
No, I heard the question. You're trying to become an expert on the things that you're talking about. So you can post over and over against the same thing. What you probably heard about was maybe keyword stuffing, which is where you dump a whole bunch of the same keywords in your blog titles, which you don't want to do that. But if you have genuine articles and genuine content, you absolutely should talk about it regularly to make yourself the expert.
Thanks, Bernie. We've got Latay Davis. She says, I have had a problem linking my WordPress blog on my website. Is there any advice for this? We're actually not WordPress experts. We do custom development. So what we can do is I'm going to be doing the tools and techniques, online tools and techniques show on the entrepreneur community. So I can bring in an expert on my next round at this and see if we can get you some answers there.
The critical thing for your blog is that you want it to be changing on your home site regularly. So even if you're using something like Blogspot or some other blog provider, when you're working with your developer for your primary domain, you need to make sure that they create some kind of plugin or whatever is required so that you pull in those blog posts so that the homepage of your website is changing regularly. Because a lot of those sites, when they're separated like that, generating a whole bunch of traffic to Blogspot doesn't help your business, especially since most of those sites usually don't link back to your primary domain very well. So the key thing you're trying to get from your blog is your main page or your website changing regularly. And if you only do it on blog spot, then you're helping them and you're not actually helping yourself.
Thank you, Bernie. So Jackie's got a question. She said, you mentioned that we should have our company address on our homepage. Mine is on my Contact Us page. I'm not a local business and our company works nationwide. Is that still important?
So if you're a local business, it's much more important. Um, for international businesses, it's critical to list if you have different offices in different countries or different locations, because that'll help Google realize which markets you're servicing. And it's critical to have an address on at least some of your web pages, so that because Google gives you quite a few points for having a physical address.
Okay, and the other thing, Jackie, is if you do have international customers, I'm not sure if you have a 1-800 listed on the top of your website. And if you don't, you can actually get online numbers. And again, I can review that on another tools and techniques webinar or Hangouts on Air. And you can get virtual numbers that go to your cell phone or go to your office phone. And then you have a 1-800 number. You want to make sure that it is scannable, or that you can kind of copy and paste it into the URL to make sure that it's working well for the search engines. And like Bernie said, if you have an address, or if you're servicing different locations, you want to have addresses there. So you can either get PO boxes in those countries, or just list what countries you work in, and maybe have a little page about the countries that you do business in, just so that that gets indexed as well. Because as we know, when we're searching online, our computer's set to where we live, and that's kind of the areas that it searches for. So we want to be in that target markets area.
As well as the localized phone numbers.
That's right, yes. And you can do the localized phone numbers through those online or those internet phone systems that I can for sure do a show about later, because it is a really interesting topic. So you can have local phone lines in all the cities that you service. So Jackie asked, she has a 1-800 number, and would a PO box work for a physical address? Yes, it works for your physical address in terms of the Google search results. So a lot of the PO boxes are called Suite 300, and then they have the address of the PO box location, so that's good too. And then Google knows that you're a business with an actual address that can be tracked down, so that'll be great. And like we said, if you have an international address that you can get, a lot of people, we know some clients who do business in Hollywood, and they have an address right on Hollywood Ave, and it's again a PO box system. So Stephanie has another question. What about companies that sell exclusively online? What address should we use?
So that's a great example of where you should use a PO box, because maybe you don't have a physical presence, but you still want to get the extra points that Google gives you for having a physical address.
So then just the address of the location that you're at, is that right, Bernie?
Of the PO box, yeah.
Yeah, so just where you, around the area where you live, you want to have an address and get a PO box.
You're not going to get points for being localized, but that's okay because you're not servicing that kind of market. But Google will give you the points for having a physical address.
I think that's it for questions, Rebecca.